Yo. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to you. The cattle farming. It's going pretty good, yeah, whippersnapper. Cody. Come on. Come on. I'm going to decide, are you coming or are you going? Are you coming or are you going? Oh, snap. You guys got goosed while I was in there? You got honked? Dead Alive, one of the old-time horror favorites, yeah. Do you know what it was called in New Zealand and Great Britain on release? That's a little piece of trivia about Dead Alive. Dead Alive is the American release name. The movie was released on another name. What did it do, Paul? Just audition for a local musical. Oh, cool. Yeah, good luck, bud. Nito Burrito, Fontito. Right here you see one of the good guys, one of the smart ones with sensible drives. What else could I be? I'm one of the good guys. Squirrely. Yeah, you saw it too, huh? You saw that squirrely? Leave that squirrel alone. You can't get to that squirrel. Squirrel's up on a fence. I love how everyone who did performing arts as a kid still has all the songs memorized no matter how old they are. I don't know about all the songs. I don't know if I can remember them all. But then there's Audrey, lovely Audrey. If life were tawdry and impoverished as before, she might not like me, she might not want me. Without my plans, she may not love me anymore. I didn't get to sing any of the cool songs. Well, I guess I got one cool song, but it's a song nobody knows called Mushnick and Son. Brought down the house, dude. When we did Little Shop, that Mushnick and Son song brought down the house, because people didn't know it because it's not in the movie. It was good. I liked that show quite a bit. That was a fun show to be in. Slightly edgy show too for a high school to put on. Hi, Paul. What's up? Hi, Paul. What's up? Nothing much. Just chilling, you know. You chilling with Michael Hawk? I was supposed to, honestly. I was supposed to. Michael was supposed to come over today. Michael Hawk. There's a whole paragraph from the contest in Sweeney Todd about the Queen of Poland that got cut, and it's easily my favorite. Yeah, it's just funny how that works. The fuck is that? Anybody know what that is? Yeah, it did. It sounded like some alien machine. I can hear some. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the garbage. You know what? That's what it is. It's the garbage truck. I don't know why it made that noise, but it's the garbage. Today's garbage day. Paul's ego, the worst person I know. Yeah. Man. It's pretty harsh, man. Nice beard, brother. Thanks. I grew it myself. It was tough. You know, with a beard, you basically like have to, it's a multi-step process. No, step 1, stop shaving. Step 2, can't tell you. Step 3, beard. Hey, big boss, I'm watching you from Iran. Iran. Cool. Don't get in trouble, man, because I say bad words and stuff. And I might blaspheme Muhammad or something, get you in big trouble. You know what I mean? You never know. Sometimes I just like, it comes tumbling out, I blaspheme Muhammad. I just blew it out, you know? I look legendary. I am fucking legendary, dude. I'm a fucking legend, bro. You think Vaush is growing up by the time 28 rolls around? He'll be, I think Vaush is already over 30, isn't he? Iran is Shia, so you should blaspheme the 4th Caliph instead. Oh, okay, I'll do that. D, it's a squirrel. You know what I mean? Squirrel's gonna squirrel. They don't care about you. They're not looking to interact. Hoo-ha. I stand with William Wallace. Freedom! I don't see it. I don't, you know, I don't see it. Yeah. I heard William Wallace was 7 feet tall, shot lightning bolts from his arse. Prince William definitely cheated, I tell you. Yes. Do you think the DNC will give Walls the 2016 Bernie treatment in 2028? Dude, isn't Tim Walls like 60? Where are we, like, why is every politician, like, entering the twilight years? Like, every politician is, like, over the age of fucking retirement now. Like, I don't get it. But yes, I think if Tim Walls tries to run in 2028, he'll get the Bernie treatment. Why do I think that? Because the last few times that somebody's tried to run like Bernie, they've gotten the Bernie treatment. I don't know, man. You ever learn that the best predictor of future behavior is past behavior? Film was full of inaccuracies, same with the blue face paint. I thought that was called woad. I thought they wore that blue stuff. Woad, right? W-O-A-D, woad. That's a real thing that the Highlanders done did, right? FDR lost as VP in 1920. 12 years later, he won in a landslide. True? Very true. Worn by ancient Pict warriors. Oh, okay. All right. I heard that William Wallace was 7 feet tall and shot fire from his eyes and lightning bolts from his arse. Tampon Tim. It's an embarrassment. Oh, man, yeah. I know, dude. Tampons are gross. This guy did a tampon thing. Ew. It's just like, is that really what's going through your head, bro? Tampon Tim, dude. This guy made tampons available. Gross. It's like, dude, are 5-year-olds political now? What the fuck? You hear that garbage truck? A fart of humanity. Am I mad dogging you? I don't have a very good mad dog face. What's up? What's up? What's up? Where you from? Where you from, homie? What's up? What's up? You wanna go? Want to do the man dance? First dance is yours. Come on. Step up. I ain't from nowhere, homie. I heard homeowners had to pay garbage to be taken out. I thought that was a government thing. But it depends on the area. But yes, most of the time, homeowners have to pay a monthly garbage fee to the city, like a municipal fee. Relax? I'm relaxed, fool. You relax. Don't tell me what to do. You tell me what to do. I don't think I can be very intimidating. What's the difference between an internet tough guy and an actual tough guy? Is there actually any tough guys online? Sure, there are probably dudes online that are also tough guys. In my experience, the most dangerous dude in the room is the dude that doesn't ever flex his fucking tough guy status. You know what I mean? People that are constantly talking about how tough they are weak. The dangerous dude in the room is the guy that doesn't ever flex that shit. Because he doesn't like using it unless he has to, you know? I'm a red pill life coach type. You think? I don't know, man. People get some pretty wild reads on me when they drive in and see me for the first time, but I gotta say, that one may be the most diametrically opposite read ever. You know what I mean? I once met a guy whose job it was to teach people to stand on their hands. Oh. You know who I am? I was just kidding. Well, then shut up. Love how Paul simultaneously gets called a far right and a far. Well, that's what happens. Like, you're gonna be called everything in the book when you have a political stance that doesn't include joining everybody in the comfort of picking a side, right? If you refuse to pick a side and you imply that there are more than two sides in this country and that you represent one of those other sides, you will be called everything in the book. You're helping the Republicans. You're helping the Democrats. You're a lib. You're a fucking fascist. You're a Nazi. Dude, I've been called everything. I've been called a terrorist supporter because, you know, back in the early 2000s, I didn't support the Iraq and Afghani invasion. So I'm a terrorist supporter. I'm a fucking Osama bin Laden supporter. I'm a fucking Saddam Hussein supporter. I'm a terrorist sympathizer. I'm a far left radical lib. I'm a right wing demagogue. You know what I mean? Like, and all of it because there is just like mass confusion about people who refuse to play the dice game. A right-wing synagogue would say. That sounds like something a right-wing synagogue, yeah. Paul, should all third parties sue to eliminate ballot access in states? I don't know that that's a possibility. I don't know if that's the angle. Where you live, that it's so nice outside. It's pretty fucking cold outside, honestly. But I live in the forest. Are you aware of Kenny Hotz from Kenny versus Spinny? Yes, I know Kenny Hotz. And I watched Kenny versus Spinny, yeah. I liked Kenny versus Spinny quite a bit. I'm sick of everyone's lack of nuance. Humanity isn't mature enough for politics, so it's not worth my time. Eh, sure. Aegon Cholakian. Cholakian. If you say his name 3 times fast, he'll show up. Cholakian. 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 Let's see if I can summon the bots today. Have you ever done? Yeah, I did the Bloody Mary thing. I mean, all kids did. It was a pretty popular little meme when I was growing up. Was Bloody Mary? I don't even remember, like, she was just supposed to appear behind you. I think that was the idea, is that you were supposed to see her in the mirror behind you. Your voice sounds like one of those intro to games guys. Oh yeah, war. War never changes. In 2105, the Deathcore came. We weren't ready. I got a good boy sticker for me. A good boy? Okay. EA Sports. It's in the game. Dude, I need to get a job. I need to get a job doing that, man. EA Sports. It's in the game. Are you pro or anti-Trump or just neutral? I mean, I'm pretty anti-Trump. Yeah, I wouldn't call myself a neutral. I definitely exist pretty far over on the political left, but I think the Democrats are every bit as destructive a force in this country than the Republicans are, because the Democrats facilitate Republican lurches to the right. So, I see them as two sides of the same fucked up, rigged coin. I'm tro-pump. Oh. SJWs ruined the creativity of games. Did they now? That's crazy. Trump's better than Kamala any day of the week. I mean, I guess that's true. I guess she would have won otherwise, right? Yeah, Kamala sucked. Joe Biden sucked. The libs suck. They suck. They're awful. Awful, capitulating losers that do nothing but facilitate the right-wing lurch that has been typified my entire life. Every time the fucking Republicans scream their way to the right, the Democrats just kind of lock it in place. They're every bit as destructive as the Republicans. They're a hand-in-glove kind of fucking existence, and people don't want to admit it. People want to pretend that they're at each other's throats, when you don't have to look hard to find stories of these Republicans and Democrats who are at each other's throats, sipping fucking drinks at an exclusive Washington bar together. You know what I mean? The face they put on in public is for our benefit. They've got a public position and they've got a private position. Oh, blind programmer. Getting razzed. Phoebes with the blind joke coming in hot, dude. It seems all people want to talk about is politics. Yeah, but I mean, it's broken America because, like, You know, we've just been trained generationally to line up, and anybody suggesting that we ought to try something different is the enemy, because they're not joining. If you just joined, that would be another voice we could point at, and it would, codify my beliefs, and it would confirm my biases. But when there's a person that ostensibly should think the way I do, but they don't, oh man. It's like that person is even more dangerous in the minds of some people than the Republicans that they're trying to defeat, the arch conservatives, the fascists, right? Just like us normal people, public and private opinions. Sure, yeah, it's definitely a human attribute. The Chuck move last week woke up a lot of Dems. Yeah, they'll be back to sleep soon. Don't worry. What do you think about people setting fire to other people's Teslas just because they disagree with Musk? Sucks, man. Sucks. I feel real bad about it. I do. I've been losing sleep about it, honestly. I've been thinking about people's Teslas. I saw this dude. I saw this dude, man. I saw this video on Twitter of this guy, this fat guy, wearing like fucking just like 8X gym shorts and a big fucking sloppy t-shirt, and he walks up next to a Tesla and he just starts digging around in his ass and wiping duty on the Tesla. Fucking man, literal barbarian behavior, dude. Literal barbarian behavior. You can see them. You can see the mud streaks, dude. You can see the mud butt. Oh shit. Duty all over. Duty. Duty. That's nasty. Yes. That's fucking gross. He just, like, I don't know what's grosser, the fact that he wiped it on somebody's door, where they had to like probably touch it to get the door open, or the fact that his ass was so shitty that he could dig around in his asshole and just get that much mud out of there, dude. Fuck, man. Oh shit. Shit. Oh shit. Just think if you were mad at Ford and burned all the Mustang plants down or broke the windows out of a 32 Roadster. I mean, dude, a Tesla is not a 32 Roadster, bro. Like, you know, look, dude, I don't care, you know? Like, I don't care. I really don't. I don't own a Tesla. I would never own a Tesla. I would never purchase a Tesla. And, you know, it's not my fault that the guy that owns Tesla decided to become the biggest supervillain in recent American history. You know what I mean? Like, that isn't on me. I find the mud butt, the mud butt attack to be hilarious. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I'd just go ahead and, like, if you got a Tesla, sell that bitch. Get rid of it. Demand your refund. How much would you pay for a Tesla? About $350. I'd pay about $350 for a Tesla, give or take. Did you just call me Unc, dude? It's true, I am an Unc. Like, I'm one of the more qualified Uncs, to be honest with you. I'm an uncle more times over than most people are. I'm like a 12X uncle, so I'm a pretty professional Unc. Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure there's some insurance scamming going on behind the whole Tesla thing. Can't believe that dude's shitty ass, though. That guy's shitty ass is crazy, bro. Where are you from? I come from the land of the ice and snow, where the blah 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 and the wind it blows. Dum 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 dum. Ah! Dum 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 dum. Ah! What do you think summer will be like there? I know, you know, I looked into it before I moved here. The summers here are beautiful. It's going to be 60s, 70s, 80s at the top. Low Tier God. Is this a name or a song name? Low Tier God is a streamer who plays fighting games and gets real salty because he kind of sucks at them. What you smoking? I smoke 2 joints in the morning. I smoke 2 joints at night. I smoke 2 joints in the afternoon. It makes me feel alright. I smoke 2 joints in time of peace and 2 in time of war. I smoke 2 joints before I smoke 2 joints, and then I smoke 2 more. I'm in love with Mary Jane. She's my main thing. She makes me feel alright. She makes my heart sing. How many weed songs can you name? It's a good question. So there's that one. There's the one I mentioned. Okay, right. There's Smoke 2 Joints. There's Indo Smoke by Mr. Grimm. You remember Indo Smoke? Probably not. It's a 90s hip hop song. This ain't no stress and ain't nothing but the Indo Smoke. Every song by Cheech and Chong, yeah. Indo Smoke, yeah. People don't know that. Whatever you do, young brother, you best not choke. Yeah, the Afro Man song. Dude, you guys remember that Afro Man song that he made after the police raided his house for no reason? Would you like a piece of lemon pound cake? If you'd like, you can take a piece. Who's gonna pay for my gate? Who's gonna pay for my door? Why does the warrant say kidnapping? Fool, I make my money rapping. He was so great, dude. You gotta love Afro Man, man. Is there any kidnapping victims in my front pockets? Even though Afro Man did slap that chick into yesterday. Okay. Can I be honest with you about something? I'm gonna explain something to you. Okay. When you, and this is something that maybe a lot of people don't know. When you're up on a stage, right? You know all those lights that they shine on the stage to make somebody visible to the audience, right? To make the stage nice and bright. You know, all those lights. When those lights are in your eyes, you can't see shit. You can see around yourself, but you can't see the audience. You can't see the fucking wings of the stage, right? So when somebody runs up on stage and grabs on you out of nowhere, the way that you react is kind of on you, right? It's kind of on them. People don't understand this. Like like when you're up on the stage, your peripheral vision is basically taken away. And you've got a huge blind spot right in front of you where the audience is. Something comes running out of that and tackles you, you're gonna get fucked up. Don't test people. Don't go running up on stage out of the darkness and grabbing on people. You're gonna get fucked up. You're gonna do it to the wrong one time. And Afro Man's the wrong one. He slapped the soul out of that woman. If he had just done it apropos of nothing, I'd be like, all right, well, that was pretty fucking unnecessary and shitty. But the fact that she ran up on stage, started grabbing on him, fair game. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Oh, but she's a woman, though. I don't care. I don't care. It's like when somebody physically attacks you, you don't have to stand there and take it because it's a woman doing it to you. Yeah, he's in performance mode. He's blinded by these fucking stage lights that are right in his face, deafened by the PA, right? And then all of a sudden, somebody's grabbing him and goosing his ass and grabbing on his shirt and shit. He reacted. You guys ever seen that one where some dumbass ran up on a Tool stage and Maynard like fucking turned into like a fucking python, like wrapped the dude up, started choking him, kept singing, just held him there for like 8 minutes. You should check that out. My BJJ coach trained with Maynard, yeah. On a lot of these shows, like you need to understand, like it's not usually the artist that brutalizes somebody that runs on stage. Usually there are like two 800-pound fucking nightmares in the wings. You know what I mean? Especially for these like big acts. One stage left and one stage right. And your ass gets dragged backstage, and guess what happens to you? Those guys are not cops. They're not being filmed. They're going to take you backstage, beat the fuck out of you, and dump you out the back. You know? Nobody whines when that happens to people. Oh, I saw one where a chick grabbed a dude's toupee off his head and it was revealed he was lip syncing. Wasn't sure how to feel about that clip. Yeah, I mean, you know. Lip syncing is not entirely uncommon, but if you're selling yourself as a live performance and you're just lip syncing. See, that's something that's like weird with rap. It's like one of the things that I find really strange about modern rap is that a lot of times they just play their song and kind of rap over it. Not all rappers do this, by the way. So, like Kevin Gates is a rapper that does not do this. He performs live, and I have respect for that. A lot of these rappers just like play their song in the background. They have a DJ on stage that just spins the record with vocals and shit, and they just sing over it. Yeah, I was just talking about that programmer, how they have security, especially at big things, like an open mic or like a community theater thing or something. Gonna be the fucking goons there. You're on your own. You know what I mean? But these big celebrities typically have got big jacked security just off the wings. Anybody even starts climbing the stage, they're there. Do I still want to slap you? No, Spino. I don't want to slap you. I'm gonna leave you alone, Spino. Well, I'm not gonna be mean to you anymore, Spino. I'm just letting you know. No more being mean to Spino, okay? Sorry for being deranged and calling you out over Elon the other day. He is a piece of shit, though. I don't know what you're talking about, man. I don't remember it, but sure. He's been a good egg lately. Yeah. It's the pro-Spino movement. Aw, Spino gave me a hug. How nice. Is Spino the Tesla wiper? Dude, I could see Spino Tesla wiping it, dude. I could see it happening. I could see Spino to Dino Tesla wiping. Or having an egghead. I don't know. Maybe somebody finally cracked the egg and let the yolk out. I don't know. I don't know what happened, man. Spino's like the Tommy Sotomayor, right? Oh, that's right. Brad has a Tesla, huh? Oh, shit, man. Keep that Sentry mode on, Bradley. Keep that sentry mode on. Yeah, I think we might be, if memory serves me, we might be pseudo neighbors now, Bradley. You and I. We're not so different, you and I. Yeah, I think we're in the same region, if I'm not mistaken. I'm coming to get you, is what I'm saying. You better watch your back, bitch. Twist up the doobies. Twist up the Dorbarinos. Yeah, dude. I went in TJ's Discord the other day. I was talking to everybody. A bunch of people were hanging out in there, and I was like, oh, there's never anybody in TJ's Discord. I'll go pop in there. And people were telling me that you went crazy and flipped out in Game of Thrones. I was like, what? Bradley went crazy? The fuck? Just another reason why Discord is just poison, bro. You seem like a really chill dude. But Discord drives men to do strange things, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, it's just one of them things, man. I don't know why people cannot fucking get along in that environment specifically. But they just can't. It's so weird. It's so strange. Dew dipping those crunch wrap sliders? Nah, bro. No dew dipping. Yeah. Yeah, it's an impossibility. Discord is cool for gaming and stuff. Yeah, it's cool for like if you got like a group of friends that live. When I say friends, and this is one of those things that I'm gonna get shit for, but when I say friends, I mean people you done met in your life, right? Like people you know, or people you've known for a long fucking time. If you've never met them, you've known them for a long fucking time, right? Not like people that you met a year ago on Discord and you've never met in real life. Like that type of shit is just not, it doesn't work. It's not a friendship. It's something else. I don't know. It's some sort of arrangement. Maybe it's an arrangement that hasn't been named yet, but it ain't friendship. At least not in the ways that I've seen it express itself in those types of communities. It's fucking like one day everything's chill. The next day you're the pariah of the community. One day you're a well-known guy that everybody likes. The next day everybody fucking hates you. You know, and the same goes for everybody else. It's just like, yeah, that's not a friend group. That's like a ticking time bomb. That's why I don't think it's an invalid human relationship, but I don't think it qualifies with any colloquial relationship terminology. It's definitely not a friendship until it reaches a certain threshold. So what is it? What, have you met them on Discord and have known them for a long time? I mean, what do you think a long time is? Because I'm an older guy, so a long time to me is like a decade, right? I don't even know if Discord's been a thing for a decade. You know what I mean? Like, I have people that I consider to be like, I guess I'd call them friends, right? I've never met them, but I've known them over 20 years. Like, I met a lot of them when I was still a teenager. You know what I mean? And so, like, that amount of the gulf between that and now, and me having known these people and known their personal lives and stuff for that long, I feel comfortable calling those people, friends or friendly at the very least. But, you know what I mean? That's, 20 years of association in a lot of cases. It's like, I think 8 years is, you know, reasonable. But even then, man, when you haven't met, there's just there's like a little bit of unreality that surrounds these types of things. And when you haven't met these people, I feel like, there's like a capability that something could barrel out of control between two people that wouldn't if you were in the same room together. It's just, there's this kind of layer of play acting and layer of kind of like self-aggrandizement, and a lot of people lie about themselves due to the impersonal nature of online contact. So you might think you know somebody, but they're just fucking telling you a bunch of porkies. People treat online friendships differently than real ones. It's a dumping ground you can easily disconnect from, but IRL, you're actually attached. Yeah, right. Right. People will say shit to people because they're not in the same room with them. That, like, you just know that a human being would never say that. They act in ways. Yeah, there's some sort of like, that's why I feel very strongly when I talk on these streams about the need for there to be some mechanism of reality in online spaces. I feel like rampant anonymity has caused people to basically like take the new public space and make it this clique kind of thing, right? And it allows people to spread misinformation and to signal boost certain things, and like it just needs to stop. Like, and I feel like we're coming closer and closer to it, by the way. I feel like with AI and all of the trolling that goes on with it, there's going to be an internet real ID initiative soon. I mean, you've already seen it at the state level, right? A couple of states are trying to kind of institute it. And I think Florida has successfully instituted internet real ID for porn. It's a matter of time. And one of the questions that I have is it going to be in any way retroactive? Probably not. But if so, there's a lot of people that got to be fucking worried. What I think it might do is provide a venue for people to subpoena some of these social media companies and get personal information for people that have said crazy shit or done crazy shit behind these internet personas. But yeah, I think that the days of this like rampant, constant anonymity and people acting differently and pretending to be things that they aren't, I think those days are roundly coming to a close. Oh shit, Mindy got in an accident or some shit? Fuck, bro. What? Like, no. Like, what happened? Totaled? Is she okay? Is she, like, in the hospital? She has to be hurt. There's no way the car is totaled and she didn't get hurt. Is she okay? And then what the fuck happened? So she blew a red? Fuck, bro. Oh, man. She got the T-bone? No kids in the car. All right, bro. Fuck, man. Scared the shit out of me there for a second. That fucking sucks, bro. Oof. Well, as a dude that's been in quite a few fucking car accidents, physically she's fine, but there's a mental toll when you are in an accident like that. And, you know, she's just going to have to be careful when she finally does get back on the road to monitor her mental health and all of that. Because I'm telling you, it can be tough sometimes. You've got PTSD. Like, your brain doesn't care that it was an accident and you came through it safely. You know what I mean? The brain reacts like a major trauma has happened. And so you just gotta, she's blaming herself. Well, you gotta tell her to get over that shit. People, she had no choice. Oh my God, man. Well, tell her to just be fucking careful with that. Because I'm telling you, man, when you're in a big fucking accident like that, there's a trauma, and it can take a while for that shit to surface. I've been through it, bro. I know. You know, I've been down that road. Yeah, I mean, people make fucking mistakes. You know, running a red light is not a good thing, but I know she didn't do it on purpose. If nobody was hurt in the accident, then, you know, it's just, you know, it couldn't have worked out better than that. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. At fault is fine. That's a legal term, but she needs to not, like, beat herself up over it. You know, accidents happen, and to a certain extent, no harm, no foul, you know. Mistakes happen. People get crazy. But yeah, dude, I'm happy she's okay. Come out here, D. You waiting your turn? How polite. Huh? Oh, thank you, baby. Did you always take a receipt in case you need a rock solid alibi? I don't ever think of that. You know what I mean? But I mean, maybe.
I mean,
it's just like, how long do you keep the receipts on file? You know?
And also, what does a receipt really prove?
Proves that somebody bought something at a store. But then they can go and look and find the CCTV footage and see that you were there, right? Yeah. But you don't need a receipt for that. You can just say, like, no, I was at Walmart at 8.
You just need to remember when you were. So I guess, yeah, the receipt is more like a reminder of where to look for it.
I'm going to be fucked. Yeah. If I ever get gaffled up in something like that, because I just have such a fucking poor memory for dates and time passage and shit. I don't know where, like, I know where I've been in the last few months, but I don't know what the date was that I went to any of it. Some of it I could trace, you know, like we went to the movies, I made a purchase. So you could say, you know, you could trace a lot of it through my purchase history. But as far as me having some sort of like rock solid memory of what I was doing on the 5th of this month, I don't fucking know. I don't even know what day that was, let alone what I was doing on it. Would you ever sit a jury if you were called up? I was called up. I sat a jury for 6 months. almost 7. It was over 6 months. I was on a civil jury that was scheduled for a 1-month trial and was extended 6 times. And I had a hard date that I had given them. You know, when they're asking you about being on the jury during voir dire, one of the things that they will ask you is conflicts, and you testify to your conflicts openly. So it's like, you know, I'm going back to school. That was mine. It was like, I have 6 months, and then at the beginning of that semester, I'm going back to school. That is going to definitely interfere with my ability to be here all day during weekdays. So, and you know, and then it's the job of the court staff and the lawyers to decide whether or not they truly believe that they're going to be able to get shit done in that time. A lot of times it'll be like, my daughter's wedding is blah blah blah, and for stuff like that, for 1 or 2
Or, like,
day
I have-
things, they might do a
yeah.
continuance on the trial
Yeah.
for a day. But if it's something like an ongoing daily obligation, or you're moving, you know, they need to know that shit. And nobody, I guess, on either team suspected that this would go anything beyond a month. And so there was no conflict, and I got seated on the jury, and I sat on it for fucking 6 months.
I've heard that, like, sometimes they'll go with negotiating a settlement up until a point that the ruling is given by the judge. So, like, during jury deliberations, they'll still try to settle sometimes.
No, they do. I mean, like, they can, like, there's a legal process by which they can settle at any point prior to the verdict being delivered. So, yeah, it happens a lot. But this one ended up being like a pretty fucking contentious case. You know, it was a case of alleged racial discrimination within the school district that I was actually an employee of, which was another weird thing about me landing on that
Yeah,
jury.
'cause you thought, oh, I work at the school district, I'm scot-free.
Well, when they gave me my conflict form and put the names of the parties,
Yeah.
2 of those people I worked with. Like 2 of the people, and one of them was retired, but I had worked with him.
Yeah.
So it was an ex-superintendent and 2 current officers at the district office where I worked. So I was like,
There's no way.
there's no fucking way they're putting me on this. So they pulled me in to talk to me specifically about my conflict form, just me and the lawyers and the defendants. And they asked me, like, who in the room do you know? And I pointed out who I knew and gave their names. How do you know them? I work at the district office with them. I've helped them with their computers, and we've met. Do you think that you could be objective about their role in this case? Like, would you feel obligated to be one way or the other? No. I can be fair with it. I just know the guys. You know what I mean? Okay. Would you feel any pressure to vote one way or the other because your job is so closely related to theirs? Would you have any worry? No. I work for the school district. It's a public institution, and I'm a union member. I'm protected from that sort of retaliatory stuff, and I don't really think the school district does that. So, okay. You're dismissed. I was like, okay, not dismissed, but you can go back to the jury room. And then when they read the fucking names out, I was on it. I started as an alternate, and then as people dropped off the jury, I ended up sitting the jury. So, I mean, all alternate is basically a juror. You sit in the fucking room.
You're still under the same
Yep.
obligations
Yep.
to be on call or whatever.
Yep. So I had to be there, sit in the jury before I even knew that because, like, if you're an alternate, you don't even get to go deliberate. If the 12 jurors stay.
Yeah.
So that would have sucked. But people dropped like flies. After like month 2, it was like, I was sitting it. Was it like 12 angry men?
You didn't get to deliberations.
No.
Yeah.
It was more like 12 gossiping old ladies and a couple of old men
Yeah.
and me. It's like, it really was like, there was a lot of shit going on that is, they give you full-blown instructions to not do. It's like, in the jury room, you ain't supposed to discuss the trial or what you think about it, what your opinion is. You're supposed to reserve that. People were just fucking clucking like hens about it constantly. You're not supposed to read the paper. People were bragging about how they read the fucking paper. Because, of course, the local papers are covering this. The fucking school district and some high-ranking officials from the school district are being sued by a principal who's alleging that he was fired because he's black, right? So, like, this is a big local story. You've got specific instructions not to talk to your friends and family about it, not to even tell them what jury you're on, you know what I mean? Not to read any fucking news stories about it, not to, you know what I mean? You're instructed to remain objective and to not allow other people's opinions to influence your thought process to the best of your ability, right? And these people just didn't even take that instruction seriously. It was so weird to me. I did. Like, for better or for worse, I was a good juror. I never read the paper. I never watched the news. I didn't talk with my wife about the fucking case as much as I wanted to because it was fucking frustrating. You know?
Did you ask anyone to, like, feed the news around it to you? Like,
No.
I meant, like, can you tell me what's going on without anything legal going on or whatever? Like, so you could know the general news without news about the case?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I didn't, I was really good. I did not have people feeding me information about anything.
No, I meant, like, if you wanted to know about news that wasn't related.
Oh.
Like, read the paper.
No.
first.
It's like I would read the paper.
You just would skip that section.
Yeah, if I
Right.
saw the headline was, you know, or I saw a picture of one of the defendants as the headline, I would just flip over and read the rest of the paper. You know, it's not like you can avoid, like, glancing at things and shit. It's not it's more about, like, don't sit and obsess about the case at home. The evidence about the case is presented here, right? And you are privileged in a way that none of these other people that are writing these stories are. You know the truth of what's going on in a way that none of them can. So you don't need to read that stuff and let other people's, that's basically how the judge put it, right? And I took that very seriously. I was like, okay. Because, like, look, my thought process was, if I was sitting down there being accused of something or accusing somebody of something, I would want every juror to abide by those rules. I would want them to give their best shot at being objective about what was going on. And, you know, so I did that. Most of the jury did not. I was one of about maybe 3 or 4 people that kind of kept to ourselves. That seemed like, you know, I don't know, we didn't talk amongst ourselves, but they didn't also join the gaggle of people that were constantly gossiping about the case. So there might have been 3 or 4 jurors on that jury that were actually being jurors, and the rest of them were just rolling their eyes and being gossip queens, and had already decided the fucking, you know, which way they were going to be. I don't know. It's just bullshit. I don't think there's any way Luigi can get a fair trial not trying to cope, but is there a chance he might get off?
I mean, I think he can get a fair trial. Like, the internet magnifies the support for it.
I mean, it's true. I do think that there might need to be a venue change. I don't know that he can get a fair trial in New York City. I mean, it's like a mega...
I don't think everyone hates insurance companies to the point where they would want to fucking do jury nullification.
But, you know, that'll be a big court battle there, you know, because obviously the prosecution...
Have you ever been denied coverage or something?
Oh, yeah. Voir dire is going to be brutal. because it's going to be, very targeted questions, really trying to dig into how people feel about what Luigi did without directly asking that.
Mhm.
My mom's friend was on a jury that ended up lasting 3 months when it was originally supposed to last under 3 weeks. I told her about your ordeal with that 6 months trial. Yeah, no, I mean, it's nuts. And the shitty part is like because I had a hard day. I started fucking college again, and I didn't even get to see the trial through to the end. You don't get to keep your notes. That's not your property. That's property of the state. So it's just like, fuck, you know what I mean? So I sat there diligently being a really good juror, and these fuckers couldn't wrap this fucking shit up in 6 months. And so they lost me off their jury, who would have been objective. I would have been a voice in that jury room. Now, I don't know how I would have voted, because in 6 months, I feel like we got maybe halfway through the case, given what they had scheduled.
Yeah.
Dude, it was nuts. The anytime we got a witness to like a testifying witness to something, it was like it was supposed to be one half of the day, and it would end up being 6 days with that witness, where that witness is back because it's just constantly objection, objection, objection. May we approach? May we approach? May we approach? May we approach? It was so contentious, because there was a lot of money on the line, I think.
Well, because it was the people being sued, not the district.
No,
itself.
it was the district.
It was the district
The
itself?
school district and the two people named as co-defendants. So the school district paid for their lawyer, and it was one lawyer covering all three. School district and the two defendants. And then the plaintiff had a really high-priced, cutthroat, crazy obstructionist lady lawyer that was just, you know what I mean? Like fucking brutal. Cutthroat. Trying to, any time that the fucking defense was trying to cross-examine a witness, it was objection after objection after objection. And then they started doing it back and forth to each other. You know what I mean? And it just made the trial. They originally had it scheduled for a month. In this case, it was a lot of character witnesses, and there were allegations that led to his firing. So witnesses in the incidents of those surrounding those allegations. So it was just a constant stream of witnesses. A lot of it had to do with tapping experts. I live in Indiana, so there's not a ton of experts near me. There wasn't a really whole lot of expert witness. It wasn't like a criminal allegation. It was a civil trial, right? So this was an allegation that this guy was treated like this black principal was treated unfairly because he was black, and fired because he was black. That was his allegation. And the counter allegation provided by the defense was that he was a poor principal, and that he handled certain sensitive issues really improperly, and that's what led to his firing, right? So those were the two stories being proffered. On his side, I was targeted and fired because I'm black. On their side, he was fired because he was incompetent. Right? So that was what needed to be decided at the trial. You looked at the JFK files? I haven't. I really haven't. I kind of want to. but I'm also kind of daunted by how much of it there is. And my eyes kind of cross with the legalese and the DOJ kind of lingo and shit. Like, it's one of those things where it being kind of a legal, internal, bureaucratic documentation and shit, I really feel like you need kind of an expert to kind of find the relevant bits and walk through it, you know? Ooh. I think the Maya were tripping balls, yeah. I don't know, though. I'm sure they were. I think way before the Maya, people were tripping balls. Do you believe in any of the conspiracies around his death? Oh, yeah, dude. For sure. Yeah, no. I don't believe... Because, like, here's the thing that fucking triggers me about the whole thing. And a lot of people don't know this. Lee Harvey Oswald was an American spy. That alone should call massive, massive, massive questions. Lee Harvey Oswald was an American spy, kind of counter-operative, trained by the CIA. He did ops in Russia. He did ops in South America and Central America. He was known to be doing disinformation surveillance, posing as a Cuban liberation radical, right? There's all this crazy fucking shit. He's like a top level spy, government operative, military dude. And he ends up pulling off, like, if you listen to experts, 3 or 4 of the most implausible shots in history, right? Training or no training. Heard Israel was involved. I don't know. I mean, I guess I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't know. Something is redacted. Doesn't it mean it will never be revealed? Not necessarily. There are unredacted versions of documents that are released at times. So, yeah. But at this point, it means you don't get to know what's underneath the redaction, right? Whether it's a name or a date or a government agency or whatever's under there, right? I mean, I gotta be honest with you, dude. I've seen a lot of the anti and pro Kennedy assassination theory debunked or whatever this, right? And I have to be honest with you, typically, those videos do not provide a refutation of the public truth that Lee Harvey Oswald was a CIA operative. Lee Harvey Oswald left the country and defected to Russia. He lived there for like a year and then was just quietly let back into the United States. There's no record of his entry into the United States. He didn't pass through any port of entry. He was just kind of like shipped out of Russia and brought back to the United States. Then he shows up in like Mexico and Cuba and Miami, and he's like fucking, you know what I mean? He's at all these Cuban kind of nationalist protests, and he's agitating, and he's doing spy shit. And it's just like, nobody ever fucking explains it. Like how this guy and his involvement with the government doing spy shit was never fucking examined. Right? It was never part of any kind of trial other than, you know, the trial that the district attorney of New Orleans brought, right? I just feel like there's, there's too many shady characters surrounding this. It reeks of a government op, right? There's just all these like professional witnesses and fucking crazy politicians and, these kind of nutty subversives all kind of wrapped up in this weird shit, right? But the central thing to me being that Lee Harvey Oswald was a trained CIA operative. Yeah, the mob connection through Jack Ruby, who killed Oswald. You know what I mean? It's like there's just too much bullshit hanging over the JFK assassination. But, well, yeah, I'm not 100% convinced either. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not claiming that I know for a fucking fact. I just think that there is too much about it that reeks of government operation. The government's fingerprints are too heavily all over every goddamn thing that happened on that day, including the assassin being a trained CIA agent. Right? Like, why was there no investigation into the apparatus that allowed all this to happen? Why was there not like a forced investigation and a forced declassification of CIA files so we could really find out what this fucking guy was doing and what he was up to? Right? Like, why the president was shot. But think about this. What do you know about the guy that shot Trump? What do you really know about that guy? You remember his name? I don't. You remember any kind of like manifesto or anything about it? I don't. That dude came that close to blowing the president's head off on national television. He was that close. Nobody knows his name? Nobody knows what he did or why he did it. The media didn't even seem all that interested in it. I mean, yeah, you went and looked it up. Congratulations, I can Google too. The Trump guy's the Oswald for the ADHD era. I mean, I guess. Things that make you go, It seemed like a loner who just wanted to make a name for himself, but who really knows, right? How did he get? See, here's a question, bro. The Kennedy assassination changed America in a lot of ways, right? We're not going to talk about the political shift. We're not going to talk about any of that. We're going to talk about how politicians, particularly top level diplomats and presidents, are protected now, right? So the idea that Trump, with this Secret Service detail, is allowed to be in the fucking firing line of this dude who's not that far from him, and there's just like a roof that wasn't covered, a rooftop that wasn't covered. I don't know how that happens. Like, to me, isn't that something that okay, we're going to put a guy up there. We're going to put a guy up here. Right? There were people like pointing him out to the cops. Like, who the fuck is that idiot up there with a gun? And the cops were like, I don't know. Yeah. If he's up there, he must need to be there, you know? Like, confusion about a dude when like, that's what I'm saying, man. Some of this shit just stinks. I'm not saying it's like a conspiracy. I'm not saying, but like, where'd this fucking kid come from? How the fuck does a nobody redneck with no rifle training crawl up on top of a fucking building near the president and get a shot off that almost fucking turns his head into a... Dude, that shot would have blown the top of his head off if it was 1 inch from where it was. He went up there completely and totally unmolested. He took his time lining up the shot. There are snipers positioned all around the president, just not over there. None of them see him until he's already popped a shot off. What the fuck happened? The more these like oopsies pile up, the more I start scratching my head and going like, there are private military contractor companies that protect high-end Saudi princes and like people that are traveling that have a lot of money. You know what I mean? Like they would never, like, and so the president has the next tier up of that. And this fucking nobody crawls up on the roof, is seen by multiple witnesses and pointed out to the cops. Nobody stops him. He calmly like lays there and lines up his shot. Gets a few rounds off on the president, coming that close to turning his head into a pink mist on TV. He's killed by a sniper, and nobody knows who the fuck he is, or why he did it, or how he fucking did it. And there's no report on it, and there's no fucking public information on it. And it's just swept. It's just gone now. I don't know how that works. Oh, there's multiple reports from the crowd trying to let the security team, what? Know about him? Yeah. No, I know. He was pointed out to the cops. He was pointed out. Like, the people, it's like, how are average fucking podunk Trump fans seeing this dude before the Secret Service did? Yeah, the Trump assassination attempt is what we're talking about. We started talking about Kennedy. Just talking about how fishy it is when some of this stuff happens, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if we talked about it much. Maybe I'll try and bring it up with the guys on the show today, but I think that the Trump assassination attempt is uber fishy. Like, it reeks to high heaven to me, dude. It really does. Like, it smells, I don't know, dude, like an op. See the lady in the Secret Service there protecting Trump who couldn't holster her pistol? Yeah, I remember them showing that. I don't know. I don't know what that is supposed to prove, but I mean, if there was like people there that weren't properly trained, then that needs an investigation. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It just all reeks. Well, if it was an op, whoever set it up must be pissed. What if Trump set it up? I'm not. What if Trump set it up? What if there was no ear bullet? What if there was just a little blood pack and a gunshot? I mean, it's the most iconic presidential moment maybe in history. Him standing up with blood streaming down his head, shaking his fist, is like, it might have won him the presidency this last time. I'm not even gonna fucking joke. It's the most compelling imagery that's ever existed around a president. It's fucking insane. Beyond iconic. It was legendary. It was fucking insane. What if it was a Trump op? What if it was an op to create a moment? I don't know. Remember the second attempt in Florida? Yeah, the dude that was like caught in the bushes on Trump's golf course or something. That was another weird one too. How the fuck does that happen? Like, you guys don't have any kind of like perimeter protocol where the president's playing golf every fucking second of every day? What? Make it make sense. It's just ripe for some sort of an op. Either it was a ham-fisted attempt to take out Trump, by the powers that be to keep him from rising to power again, or it was a photo op designed by Trump to create a moment. Maybe it was some foreign government trying to sway things one way or the next. I just feel like the whole story can't be that some deluded redneck crawled up on a building near the president and stood there and took a shot at him and almost killed him. Like I don't know. Maybe that's like the simplest explanation, but it just seems like something that doesn't happen in the modern day. I don't know. But the way that I think about these conspiracy theories and stuff is heavily, and I'm willing to admit this, heavily biased by a fundamental mistrust of power. I fundamentally mistrust American institutions. I fundamentally mistrust people that are empowered over the citizenry. That's just inbuilt, right? That is not going to change about me. I'm not going to start being Johnny Law, right? Overnight. I have a fundamental mistrust of power, and it doesn't have a D or an R next to it, right? And so, with that mistrust comes some inherent bias. When these sorts of things happen, I look at who benefits. Who benefits? Who benefited from this? Trump benefited massively from it. Maybe we need to look down that pipeline. Had Trump been killed, a lot of people would have benefited from it, right? It's just one of those things. It needs to be looked at. The fact that it was just swept under the rug by the media. The media didn't intensely discuss this dude for weeks and weeks. It was just kind of like, Was it wrong of Democrats to make light and jokes about the assassination on Trump? Was it wrong of them? Morally speaking, I don't make moral judgments, especially not on jokes. Optics speaking, like politically speaking, probably a bad look, yeah. I would imagine. You know? Probably a really bad look. But some of the rhetoric that was coming out of them, they had to have that bad look. Some of them, you know? I don't know. I don't think jokes are bad, even if they're offensive and ill-timed. I think that a joke is a joke is a joke is a joke, okay? Those Biden, would MAGA have made fun of that? Absolutely. 100%. If Biden's old decrepit ass had gotten nicked by a fucking big ass bullet and stood up and he was like, "Fight, Jack! Take America back, Jack! Come on, buddy! Yeah! Woo-ha! Yeah!" You know, like, he probably would have won. You know what I mean? There would have been no question about him being a demented idiot. Like, all of that would have been swept. He would have won. You know what I mean? So you know, it's an event that likely swayed the presidency, right? So I think it needs extra scrutiny just because of that, bro. It needs some scrutinizing just because of that. But that's me. That's coming from fundamental mistrust of power, Paul's ego. Sorry, I don't like I don't like placing blind trust in institutions and people. That's never really worked out in my personal life. So I kind of like don't do it in my public life, you know? Plus, I'm not just a total fucking like never had any experience type of guy. I've seen the corruptions or the corruption and the you know, kind of like wasted money and the fucking just absurdity of the bureaucracy at the educational level. I worked for the fucking school district for 8, almost 9 years of my life. You know? I know how fucked up that shit is. And if it's that fucked up at the educational level, how fucked up is it at the IRS, the CIA, at the FBI? And all of these institutions that you're asked to blindly trust when they tell you this is what happened. Make it make sense. And it's just like, you know, I had that type of attitude well before I got that job, but I'm not going to lie to you and tell you having that job didn't fucking reinforce everything I thought about these bureaucratic institutions. Paul, I ask that you pretend to be a historian 200 years from now and describe America from that perspective with an English accent. No, but thanks for the request. You demand. Not a fan of Trump or nationalism, but that photo of him did trigger something primal in me. Of course it did. And think about how far back that goes. Dude, the leader was almost killed. Who cares if you, like, that's like, to a certain extent, that's like an attack on you. You know what I mean? Even if you're not a Trump fan, he's your institutional daddy. Right? That was a bullet fired at the heart of America. Right? Of course it triggered something in you. We live in a very nationalistic environment. Americans are raised and propagandized to believe that they are exceptional on the planet. American exceptionalism is kind of bred right into human beings as they're raised here in America, right? And so, you got some of that purple Urkel, dude. Na zdrowie. Enjoy it. To your health, friend. I'm going to let you guys go. I will see you some other time.